By the end of this video, you're going to know about 6 brand new ChatGPT features because they just released a bunch of new features and a bunch of new settings that are going to completely change things like you creating images, how you interact with ChatGPT, and so much more. New setting number 1 is ChatGPT changed how you can actually create images on ChatGPT. So now if we come into tools, we click on create an image, we are now going to see styles right here. And as you can see, there are 9 different styles. So if you wanted to make something in a cyberpunk setting, you would literally just turn this style on. It puts the prompt in here and it shows you what this style actually looks like. Now, what this also reveals too is how you should actually be prompting ChatGPT, because if we get rid of this right here and we come over here and we put in photo shoot, what this does is actually shows you what you should actually be prompting ChatGPT with in order to get certain different styles. Now, what you're going to want to think about is you're going to want to think about what this prompt actually looks like and how you can change that and how you can adjust it for what you want if what you want isn't actually in one of these different styles right here. For example, let's say that we take this right here, create a retro 1950s cartoon style image, minimal vector art Deco inspired, clean flat colors, and then it goes through yada yada yada, and I'm going to say of a grizzly bear. Now what we can do is we could take this, now this is actually going to go through and do this, and while we're doing that, I wanted to show you that you can also come over to library right here and you'll be able to see all of the different images that you've generated before with ChatGPT, and if you wanted to, you'll be able to click on these and you'll be able to actually scroll through these and you could describe what you want to add, what you want to remove, what you want to replace, and you'll also be able to add these different styles in straight from here. Now, before I show you what the final output looks like from that grizzly bear retro illustration that we did, I wanted to give you 3 more pro tips when it comes to using images in ChatGPT. First and foremost, you want to make sure that you're using the 8-element prompting framework. Essentially, if you want consistent high-quality images from ChatGPT, you need to make sure that your prompt contains the subject, composition, style, lighting, color, mood, details, and context. In addition to that, like I have right here, you should be adding in negative prompting to specify what you don't want in the image because that's incredibly useful. Secondly, you want to make sure that you create a brand board using memory. Essentially, you'll be able to use ChatGPT's memory to save things like color palettes, font choices, design styles, and tone, so you don't have to repeat it every single time you go to make an image in ChatGPT. In addition to that, I would strongly suggest that you do this third thing right here, which is reverse engineer any prompt image. Essentially, what you could do is you could upload an image to ChatGPT and ask ChatGPT to generate the prompt it would have created in order to actually do this, and this is going to be helpful for you to understand what specific visualization styles are constructed in certain ways and how to replicate them. Now, if we come back over here, this right here is a grizzly bear that it created, and it created it with a 1950s cartoon style image, and as you can see, it also included all of these other different things here. Now, change number 2 is something that I've seen begin to take effect like crazy in just the last week or two, and that is that I would strongly suggest that you avoid using a VPN with ChatGPT, and I even asked ChatGPT why you would want to avoid it, and it gave me 5 different answers. First and foremost, inaccurate location-specific responses. Secondly, account security and login issues. Third, it could give you latency and performance problems. 4, you could get policy violations and suspicious activity flags. 5, there could be billing or regional access problems. And this is actually the one that I've seen come up a bunch of different times. Essentially what happens is when ChatGPT or OpenAI, or quite frankly, any AI platform rolls out changes, they roll them out based on region. So if you're using a VPN in a different region, you might not be getting the right settings, you might not be getting the right features, and it could be causing latency and performance problems. So if you've had any problems like that on ChatGPT lately, I would strongly recommend checking to make sure that you're not using a VPN when you're accessing it, because again, you don't want this to affect what settings you do and don't have access to. Now, setting in feature number 3 is going to be getting ChatGPT to actually schedule out posts. Now, before I show you how to do this, because they actually changed how you do this, you can't do this from ChatGPT 4.0 anymore. For example, if we open up a 4.0 window and we say something like, please set a task to remind me to drink water every day at 9 a.m. Obviously, I'm doing something funny here, but if I say this right here, this won't actually do this. This will just say, here's a simple task you could set up manually, blah, 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 and then it gives you a bunch of different ways for you to be able to do this. That's not what we want. We want ChatGPT to actually tell us to do it. But before I show you that, I wanted to show you, if you come into settings right here, you click on personalization, click on notifications. This is where you can actually manage your tasks right here. So if you click right here, you could choose how you actually get notified via a push notification on ChatGPT, on your phone and on your computer, or they can notify you via email, or both. And if you click on manage tasks right here, this will actually show you all the different tasks that you have planned out. And if you click into any of them, it will bring you to a window where it shows you all the different times that they have actually done this. For example, I have this set up for a bunch of different stocks and things like that so that I could get notified of whether or not I should be investing in them right now. Now, you can't do this with ChatGPT 4.0 anymore. Now you need to use 04 Mini. So what I'm going to do, we're going to come over here, we're going to copy the same exact prompt that did not work in 4.0. If we come over here and change this to 04 Mini, what you're going to notice is that this will actually now set this task up. We can see that it's gone through, it's actually created it, and it says actually I've reached the maximum number of tasks, so I could come over here and manage my tasks and actually delete 2 of these. So we're going to delete this one, and then we're going to delete this one, and then we're going to come back into this, and I'm going to say I deleted some tasks, try now. And then what you are going to notice here is this is actually going to go through, this is going to create this task. So got it, actually went through, it created it. If we wanted to, we could come in here and manage a task, we could delete it, we could pause it, we could edit it, and we could change the instructions, how frequently it happens, what time it happens. And I strongly suggest that you begin to set this up if you need reminders on things, or if you want to get ChatGPT to actually schedule out work in advance. This is a great way to do it. Now, before we get into the next 3 settings, and they're only going to keep getting crazier and crazier, I need you to smash that subscribe button if you want to stay up to date on the latest and greatest changes in AI. I upload videos like this every single day, so you don't want to miss them. Now, setting and feature number 4 is actually going to be probably the most underrated thing when it comes to ChatGPT. So I would strongly suggest that you have this set up, because this is really what I think makes ChatGPT potentially better than things like Gemini or Grok or Claude. If we come up here in the top right-hand corner right here, and we click on settings, you are going to notice that if we come into personalization, we could have this save memories. We could also have this reference all of our chat history. A lot of the other LLMs don't have this, which is actually what makes ChatGPT special and allows it to continue to get better and better and better and better and better over time. In addition to that, we can come in here to manage memories, and I would strongly suggest that you do this and come over here and actually go through and delete anything that isn't actually referenced to you. For example, has an HM46 sauna? I don't have that. I don't know why this says that, but I don't have that. Is looking at building a townhome in Davidson? That's not true. Let's see, created a new TikTok. That is true. So you want to go through and you want to make sure that you're just referencing these things and deleting them if they make no sense. In addition to that, you want to make sure that you set up custom instructions on ChatGPT. You want to tell ChatGPT what to call you, what you do, give it what traits it should have, what things it should know about you, and make sure you have these advanced capabilities turned on, because if you don't have all these things turned on, you're not using ChatGPT to its full potential. In addition to that, this is one of those settings I've seen get messed up with that VPN. So if you have set it up before, but you feel like it's not actually working, please make sure you check it out. Now, the next setting before we get into my personal favorite and the one that I think is the most important if you're using ChatGPT is I wanted to make sure that you have these connectors actually set up. So if you come into connectors, you can now hook ChatGPT up to all of these different apps. In addition to that, if we come over here into GPTs, you will find a bunch of GPTs that actually give you access to other things straight from ChatGPT. For example, if we come over here, video AI, this actually lets you create videos with ChatGPT, but not using Sora. The same thing with Veed over here. They have things for presentations. They have a bunch of different GPTs that allow you to access different websites and different services that aren't actually over here when you come into connectors. Now, I do think that they're going to expand these connectors a lot. Right now, though, you can really only use these things for deep research. But like I said, these should get a huge expansion in the future so that you'll actually be able to access them very similarly to how you can on a tool like Claude. But remember, using these GPTs for whatever you want to do, for example, let's say that I want to make a presentation, literally just type this in right here, and this is going to find me a bunch of different things that can actually create PowerPoints or can actually create slides, and this will make your life a lot easier. In fact, you can see right here, millions of people are using these. So why aren't you? Now, the last thing that I wanted to include here is when you should actually be using each one of these models. So GPT 4.5 is best for writing, creative brainstorming, general chats. GPT 4.1, quick coding, fast analysis, web development. GPT 4.1 mini, everyday tasks, speed over depth. GPT 4.0, this is just multi-model tasks. So it's basically general purpose. O3 is advanced reasoning, complex problem solving. O4 mini is fast reasoning, STEM tasks at scale. And then O4 mini high is going to be your coding and visual reasoning specialist. Now, what you could do is take a screenshot of this and then ask ChatGPT, hey, I'm doing this task. Which one of these should I use? And it actually does a pretty good job at actually pointing you in the best direction, because if you want the best responses from ChatGPT, you need to be using the best model for the job you're doing. Not sure if you've seen the reports yet, but Goldman Sachs just came out and said that they think in the next 12 months, AI is going to replace over 300 million jobs. So my question for you is, are you going to be one of those people that's replacing those jobs, or are you going to be one of the people that gets replaced because you didn't embrace AI? And that's exactly why I created AI Automation School that you could check out at the pinned comment below. In fact, I have special launch pricing right now. So if you want to stay ahead of what's happening in AI and you want to learn how to automate your work with AI, how to make more money with AI, how to build AI agents without knowing having to code, or you just want me to audit your personal AI workflow so we could speed things up for you, I strongly suggest that you check it out. Now, if you like this video, I'd strongly suggest you check out this video right here that walks you through a brand new AI tool that allows you to create AI agents without knowing how to code. You literally just tell it what you want to automate and it goes off and does it. I'll see you over there.